Introduction. Most older men completely miss it, but when a younger woman is interested, she rarely comes right out and says it. Instead, she asks certain subtle questions that seem casual on the surface, but are actually designed to test your interest, confidence, and availability. In fact, 97% of older men don't realize that when a girl asks this one thing, it's often her way of making the first move. In this video, we reveal what that question is, why it works like a psychological invitation, and how you can spot it instantly. If you've ever thought she was just being polite or curious, think again. This is her secret way of flirting, and it's time you knew how to respond. 1. She asks about your relationship status casually. When a woman asks about your relationship status casually, it may seem like an innocent or offhand question, but often carries deeper psychological undertones that reveal her curiosity, interest, or intent. Understanding this subtle gesture can help you respond wisely and assess the nature of your connection with her. In many cases, when a woman brings up your relationship status in a casual tone, perhaps in the middle of another topic or as part of a light conversation, it is rarely random. Women are typically more socially intuitive and deliberate in their communication. This kind of question often indicates that she is trying to gauge if you are emotionally or romantically available and whether there's a potential opening for something more, even if she hasn't fully admitted it to herself yet. It's not always an outright declaration of interest, but it is definitely a clue worth noticing. Rather than directly stating her intentions, which would expose her to rejection or make her feel vulnerable, she frames the question in a low-risk, seemingly casual way. She might ask something like, "So, are you seeing anyone lately? Or do you have a girlfriend? Or are you one of those always single types?" The tone may be playful, sarcastic, or curious, but the motive is usually the same. She's scanning for a signal that you're available and open to deeper connection. Sometimes, this question also helps her understand what kind of person you are, whether you're loyal, emotionally committed, or simply playing the field. If you respond by saying you're single and your body language and tone reflect openness, it can subtly greenlight her to continue building rapport with you or move into more personal topics. This behavior ties into a broader understanding of female psychology and communication patterns. Women often prioritize emotional safety, so instead of making direct advances, they gather clues and test the waters. This is why casual inquiries into your dating life can be a test, not just of your availability, but of how you respond under pressure. Do you get flustered, defensive, or cocky? Or do you remain composed, honest, and grounded? Your reaction tells her just as much about you as your answer. If you handle it with confidence and a touch of humor, you show emotional maturity and self-assurance, qualities that are naturally attractive. On the other hand, if you over-explain or seem evasive, it may raise red flags. Ultimately, when a woman casually asks about your relationship status, it's a moment you shouldn't overlook. Whether she's interested in dating you, trying to understand you better, or even just considering friendship, that question reveals a desire to define the boundaries and possibilities between you. The best way to respond is with honesty and calmness. If you're single and open to something, let that be known, but without sounding desperate. If you're taken or not looking, state that with respect and clarity. Either way, this moment offers insight into her level of interest, and how you respond can either open the door to deeper connection or respectfully close it. 2. She inquires about your hobbies or free time. When a woman begins asking about your hobbies or how you spend your free time, it's often more than just casual conversation. It's a subtle yet meaningful sign of interest. People don't typically probe into the personal lives of others unless they're genuinely curious or emotionally invested. In the realm of attraction, asking about your passions, routines, or weekend activities is her way of trying to connect on a deeper level. It shows she wants to understand what brings you joy, what motivates you, and how compatible your lifestyles might be. This line of questioning can also reveal her desire to find common ground, activities she might be able to join you in or support from a distance. The key is to recognize the emotional undertone. She's not just asking, "What do you do for fun?" She's essentially asking, "Who are you when no one's watching?" That kind of curiosity reflects emotional investment and the early stages of emotional bonding. In these moments, it's important to respond authentically and not tailor your answers just to impress. Share your passions with honesty, because if she's attracted to you, she'll be drawn even more to your sincerity and purpose. This is also an opportunity to ask about her interests in return, which builds rapport and mutual curiosity. Ultimately, when a woman inquires about your hobbies, she's trying to peek into your world, not just to observe, but perhaps to see if there's a place for her in it. Understanding the subtle signal can help you gauge her interest more accurately and respond in a way that fosters connection and trust. So, the next time she asks what you enjoy doing in your spare time, don't underestimate the power behind that question. It's often a gateway to something deeper. 3. She asks about your past. When a woman asks about your past, it's rarely just casual curiosity. It's a subtle, often subconscious way of assessing your depth, values, and emotional availability. This type of questioning reveals that she's trying to understand who you are beneath the surface. She's not just interested in facts or stories. She wants to know how your past shaped you, what you've learned from your experiences, and whether you carry unresolved emotional baggage or wisdom. If she asks about your childhood, past relationships, failures, or defining life events, take it as a sign that she's invested in connecting on a more intimate level. It's a moment that calls for balanced vulnerability, not a full emotional download, but an honest glimpse into your journey. How you respond matters. If you deflect or stay vague, she might interpret it as emotional unavailability or even a red flag. On the other hand, if you overshare or dwell on bitterness, it can signal that you're still living in the past. The key is to frame your experiences as lessons learned. Highlight growth, maturity, and emotional resilience. Talk about your past with clarity and confidence, showing that you're not defined by it, but shaped in a way that made you better. Also, observe her reaction. A woman who's truly interested will listen attentively, ask deeper questions, and share her own stories in return. This mutual exchange builds emotional intimacy and trust, key ingredients in any meaningful relationship. Ultimately, when she asks about your past, what she really wants to know is whether your future can include her, and if the man you become is someone worth trusting. Treat these conversations as opportunities to connect authentically and demonstrate your emotional intelligence. 4. She mentions your age in a flirty way. When a woman mentions your age in a flirty way, it's not just casual conversation. It's often a subtle psychological signal laced with curiosity, admiration, or playful attraction. Age can be a powerful cue in social dynamics, and when brought up flirtatiously, it's rarely about the number itself. Instead, it's about how you carry yourself, your confidence, life experience, and the emotional maturity you project. For example, if she says something like, "I can't believe you're that age," you don't look it at all, she might be signaling that she finds you physically attractive and wants to compliment you indirectly. On a deeper level, teasing you about your age could be her way of playfully challenging you, testing your sense of humor, or creating a sense of banter to build intimacy. This flirtation style opens the door for mutual vulnerability and playful engagement, especially when she brings it up without judgment, but with curiosity or admiration. From a psychological standpoint, mentioning age in a flirty way is a form of soft validation and a bid for emotional resonance. She might admire your maturity if you're older, or find your youthful energy appealing if you're younger. The key is how she delivers the comment. Tone, smile, eye contact, and timing matter more than the words themselves. If you respond with confidence, humor, and warmth, you reinforce the attraction and show that you're secure in your identity. Ultimately, such moments reveal that attraction often hides in the subtleties of human interaction. So when she teases or compliments your age, don't deflect or downplay it. Lean in with charm. Recognize it as a green light to deepen the connection. Flirting is rarely about facts. It's about feelings, and the way she says it tells you far more than the age she's referencing. 5. She asks for help or advice. When a woman consistently asks you for help or advice, especially when it's about things she could easily figure out on her own, it can be a subtle but powerful sign of interest. Psychologically, seeking help is not just about solving a problem. It's often a way to open a door to emotional connection, especially when it's done repeatedly or in areas where she already seems capable. This behavior taps into a deeper need for connection, security, and shared experience. From a dark psychology standpoint, it's not manipulation, but rather a subconscious strategy. She's giving you an opportunity to demonstrate competence, leadership, and attentiveness. By doing this, she gets to observe how you respond under pressure, how you treat her needs, and whether you make her feel safe and valued. It's also a way for her to build trust without seeming vulnerable or overly forward. In many cases, asking for advice, especially on personal matters like work stress, family dynamics, or emotional decisions, signals that she respects your opinion and wants to bond with you on a deeper level. What seems like a casual question may actually be her way of inviting you into her world. The key lesson is to pay attention not just to the question itself, but to the context, the frequency, and the nature of the help she's seeking. Is she trying to spark longer conversations? Does she thank you in a warm or playful tone? Does she follow up afterward? These are clues that her requests are not just practical, but emotional. If you recognize this signal and respond with confidence and kindness, you're not just solving her problem. You're deepening attraction through understanding, trust, and presence. That's where genuine connection begins. 6. She brings up her own dating life. When a woman frequently brings up her own dating life in conversations, especially without being asked, it's rarely just casual small talk. It's a subtle psychological signal that carries deeper implications, depending on the context and delivery. Often, when a woman openly discusses her romantic experiences, exes, or current interests, she's either setting a boundary, testing your emotional reaction, or indirectly trying to spark curiosity or competition. For example, if she talks about other men she's dating, she might be trying to gauge your level of interest or stir a subtle sense of jealousy to see how emotionally invested you are. This is rooted in a basic principle of human psychology. We tend to value what others also desire. By showing that she's a person of interest in the dating world, she's signaling social value and indirectly prompting you to consider your own intentions more seriously. However, if she repeatedly brings up negative aspects of her past relationships, she could be revealing unresolved baggage, testing your empathy, or even subconsciously warning you about potential emotional instability. On the flip side, when she casually talks about her dating life while maintaining strong eye contact, smiles, or playfully teases you, she may be opening the door for deeper emotional intimacy, testing to see if you're confident and mature enough to handle the subject without insecurity. The lesson here is to observe why she's mentioning her dating life. Don't react impulsively. Instead, listen with calm curiosity, remain grounded, and gently redirect the conversation if it feels like a power play. In relationships and attraction, emotional awareness and non-reactivity are powerful tools. When you understand the motive behind her words, you gain clarity and maintain control. 2 key traits that command respect and deepen real connection. 7. She asks if you come here often. When a woman asks, "Do you come here often?" it might seem like a casual or cliched question, but it carries subtle layers of intent, especially in social environments like cafes, bars, or public gatherings. On the surface, it's a small talk icebreaker, but beneath it lies an important psychological cue. She is initiating conversation in a low-risk way to signal potential interest. Understanding this question can teach a valuable lesson in social awareness, especially for men who tend to overlook soft, indirect signals of attraction. In dark psychology and subtle human behavior, questions like this are rarely just about the location. They're about testing comfort, familiarity, and rapport. By asking this, she's not only gauging how often you're in the environment, but also how socially experienced, confident, or approachable you are in that setting. Your response gives her clues about your personality. Are you local? Are you confident? Do you enjoy this kind of environment? Importantly, how you respond can either build momentum or kill it. Respond with warmth, humor, or curiosity, and you invite further dialogue. Respond with dry disinterest, and the spark may fizzle out. This moment reflects the greater lesson that attraction often starts in subtle, low-pressure ways. When a woman uses this question, she's signaling openness, but also observing your energy and emotional intelligence. Recognizing that this question is a conversational door, not a literal inquiry, can help you become more attuned to female psychology and improve your social skills. Being present, observant, and engaging with a touch of playfulness can turn a simple question into the first step of a meaningful interaction. Always remember, it's not about how often you go there. It's about how often you're willing to show up emotionally and attentively in the moment. 8. She asks deep or personal questions quickly. When a woman asks deep or personal questions quickly, it can be a powerful signal of emotional interest or attraction. This behavior often bypasses surface-level conversation in favor of establishing a fast emotional connection. Rather than wasting time on small talk, she dives into topics like your childhood, values, fears, regrets, or goals. This tendency can reveal a desire to know the real you, your emotional layers, your past experiences, and how you think. It's not just curiosity. It's a form of emotional scanning to assess compatibility, depth, and trustworthiness. For many women, emotional intimacy is a gateway to romantic or meaningful connection, and asking such questions early on helps them gauge how emotionally open, honest, or self-aware a man is. However, it's important to distinguish genuine interest from manipulation. In some cases, especially within the context of dark psychology, a person might use deep questions as a way to gain emotional leverage or foster artificial closeness. When this happens too fast, it may be a tactic to disarm you or create a false sense of intimacy. A healthy emotional connection should feel mutual, not rushed, not prying, and certainly not uncomfortable. If you feel safe and the conversation flows naturally, her questions are likely sincere and reflect genuine attraction or interest. But if you sense pressure to open up too soon, take a step back and assess her intentions. Whether it's romantic interest or deeper psychological probing, her urge to know you intimately is a sign that she sees more in you than just a surface interaction. In any case, your emotional awareness and boundaries will help you determine whether to engage or tread carefully. Trust your instincts and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively.